There's another katydid, which does a really extraordinary thing. It's a record in the animal kingdom, as far as we know. It's the male tuberous bush cricket. It has the largest testicles for their weight of any animal. Oh! That's 14% of their body mass.
14%?
14%. It enables them to fertilise as many females as possible. They do this by inserting a jelly-like package.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm sorry, called the spermatophore. Into the female. The back end of this spermatophore, this bulging packet of spermatozoic jelly, there's too much of it. It bulges out, and the female reaches back and eats it for lunch. Yes, so it's a romantic dinner for one. So it's a double.
Only a man could say that.
40%.
The thing about that as a creature, though, is because it's got such massive balls. Like when you film it close up, it must go like it must leap. Whoosh. Oh! Oh!
Ooh, the agony.
Every time it lands, it's just...
Where's the penis? Is the penis massive?
I don't think the penis is as massive as the testes.
Just a little thing like that, and then two like...
Yeah, it's really...
It's quite a powerful squirt, you'd have thought. It could be a mile away.
Yeah.
Well, there you are. There's your katydid.
What are the longest distance of mating in the animal kingdom?
What is?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know.
Some fish, they put the eggs and then the male fish comes along later. They don't even meet, do they?
You could send by post, I suppose.
Well, there's the ninja slug. Well, this is a real thing.
A ninja slug?
The ninja slug. And it when it's doing the loving, it... yeah, I'm like a proper expert.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, slug loving. And then instead of getting involved, it comes up and then it fires... like all the necessaries towards the lady slug, and she whoof, and then I don't know what it's called.
It.
It's sort of.
But she leans backward to catch it.
I don't think she's got hands, but she sort of. That's the thing with a slug. If you rush a slug like that, they go.
Oh, it's that bit. Oh, yes,
And then.
Are you saying it's like meat and two veg detach?
Yeah. Takes it off.
Takes it off and fires it at...
Takes it off and it... Again, I'm not sure where I found this out.
Scooby-Doo. That is definitely Scooby-Doo.
It's a bit... And then it... Whoa, like that.
I've definitely seen that on Scooby-Doo.
And then I think she's like that.
And she's basically like a goalkeeper, just readying herself.
Yeah, honestly, it's like an explosion in an Ann Summers.
Well, that's terrific. Well done.
There's nothing worse, though, when this slug comes towards the lady and she dives the wrong way.
Moving on from the enormous knackers of the katydid. What can you tell me about the royal knackers?
Well, I imagine they're pretty toasty right now.
Is it where royal horses are killed?
Yeah.
The royal knackers yard?
Yes, they any longer have a royal knackers yard, but they used to. There was, of course, in the Victorian age and earlier, a great need to get rid of horses who had died and to make the most of them. And they went to knackers yards. And there was...
into lasagna.
And they were made into all kinds of things. And the royal knacker was one John Atchiller, who had the royal warrant from Queen Victoria to knacker her horses. And he was the official horse slaughterer. He's buried in Highgate Cemetery, where there's a tomb with a prancing horse on top of it, like a Ferrari mascot.
Is it prancing the other way up?
Maybe it's prancing as a sign of revenge.
Yeah, maybe.
We got you at last, you bastard.
Yeah. He had two knackers yards. The first was in Sharp's Alley near Smithfield, and then later near King's Cross at Belle Isle. And they were famously malodorous. You wouldn't want to live near them. Huge copper vats filled with horses being rendered down. But here from 1844 is an extract from Bentley's Miscellany. The knacker's cart arrives in double quick. The mob admires the cart, the royal arms, and the inscription, "Knacker to Her Majesty." The royal knacker, a swell knacker in cords and tops with a bit of butcher's apron, just as big as a bishop's, merely to distinguish his profession, poleaxe in hand, descends from his vehicle.
Well, that's pageantry.
That's pageantry, isn't it?
That's
Exactly.
what I want to see televised. David Dimbleby doing the commentary, the slaughtering of the royal horse.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be David Dimbleby, though, it'd be Fern Cotton.
Oh, I'm ready for moving.
People would say, oh, they've ruined the horse slaughtering.
They trivialised the knackering.
Yes, it used to be so respectful.
So much pomp and circumstance.
Explain what bit of the horse was bubbling up to the top now. Is it a block? Is it an eye?
Yes.
But they don't know now, these new presenters.
Football clubs used horse oil to...
I don't stop chafing.
Lubricate something, I
Yes, their boots, actually, oddly enough, to keep their boots supple. Cricket teams rubbed it into their bats, much as they then used to do with linseed oil. Doctors used neat's foot oil to massage a patient's joints after coming out of plaster. You'd use that. Selected bones were sent to knife manufacturers for the handles. Oh, there you are, look. See, horse meat for sale, this store only. With beef, lamb, veal, pork also available.
Yeah.
He's thinking, well, I won't have
The horse looks a bit worried. The horse is deciding which to have. But by strange, I don't know if coincidence or irony is the word, but in 1824 the RSPCA was founded, and there's a plaque to show where it was founded. Old Slaughter's Coffee House.
That's what you want to do after you've been at a good old night slaughtering, is have a latte.
Yeah.
I fed horse meat to a lion once.
Did you?
That was a pony trek gone wrong.
Daisy were lost. No, I was in Namibia
Yeah.
doing a documentary about this place where they rehabilitate big cats. Well, they had 3 lions, a bit like Clarence the Boss-Eyed Lion from Duck Tale.
I remember him well.
You know, who kind of was semi-tame. And they fed them horse meat, so if a horse died anywhere within about 300 miles, they'd try and get hold of it. And they'd chop it up, and you'd put it... They'd lift a bit of the fence, and you'd shove this metal bowl underneath, and the lion would come over and put its tongue in. And the lion's got these barbs on the tongue...
Take the skin off.
...that can pick up a piece of horse meat and dangle it from there, and then they
Just
look
on
at
the
you
strength
through the
of
bar. Still got the hair on the side, you know. It's
Yeah.
not, you know, quite a flimsy fence.
Yes. We're lucky still to have you.
Yeah.
Well
Quite a
done,
sight,
you.
quite an impressive
Well,
sight.
if anyone from Leeds tells you to eat kicker, what should you do?
Run away, because that's kicker there.
You can see we're still in the world of meat.
Is it horse?
It is actually just plain horse, yes, it's horse. And Yorkshire was the last place, really, to eat horse on a major scale in Britain.
Until quite recently.
Well... But, of course, recently there have been a few scandals which mean we've probably all been eating
That
horse.
dark brown horse has the hair of Tina Turner.
What you got?
You're spot on!
What you're looking at here is the entire lineup of horse kajagoogoo.
You're absolutely right.
Really spooky, that.
Well, horse was very popular right up till the first millennium, until Gregory III, the Pope, deemed it too pagan. But the Scandinavians had always loved eating horse, and the greatest Scandinavian, as it were, presence in Britain was in Yorkshire. And so it remained as a tradition to eat horse right up until, really, the 30s. And the last butcher selling horse in the county was Arnold Drury in Doncaster, who died in 1951. He proudly advertised viande de cheval, meat horse, of super quality horse flesh. And other butchers called it kicker, more euphemistically. And in the 19th century, rural Yorkshire folk who moved to the city were known as kicker eaters.
I've eaten horse.
Well, most of us have, apparently, without knowing it.
Yes.
But you ate it
consciously.
deliberately. And
Yeah.
how was it?
Very lean. Just no fat on it at all.
Wow.
Just basically like eating sort of, I don't know, a sort of wall insulation. I mean, just no,
Yeah.
no succulence to it.
But isn't it odd how we rebel at the idea of things that we're not used to? You know, we are totally used to drinking the proteinous, fatty stuff that comes out of an alien animal that is designed to make its calf double in weight every week, and we're perfectly happy scull it back and go, that's all right, I'm eating a cow's milk.
But
someone
more
says,
so-
eat a horse's milk, you go, yeah.
Even more so than that, when my sister-in-law expressed some breast milk and kept it in the fridge,
Ah.
And her brother came in and drank it. Made everyone feel a bit unwell.
Yes.
No one quite knows why.
Well, exactly, because it's a lot
Clearly,
more...
it's designed for human consumption.
Precisely. Much more than cow or horse milk is.
And I'll tell you what, it makes a lovely rice pudding.
Well, wasn't there a shop selling
Breast milk
ice cream? Yeah.
Yeah.
We should all try lots of different animals' milk.
I'm very happy to try horse. I had some of that breast milk ice cream.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I was on a television programme and they brought it round as a gimmick. I didn't seek it out.
No.
And it tasted completely like normal ice cream.
I thought you were going to say completely like tits. Then.
Yeah. It tasted very, very strongly of
Very
tits.
breasty.
It tasted very much like dog or horse milk, in fact.
Yeah. Well, the most famous 19th century royal knacker was Jack Atchiller, responsible for dealing with 26,000 horses a year. Talking of being knackered, describe the world's oldest mattress.
Oh, I think it's got springs sticking out and it's a bit tatty.
It's a
and
lot
stained.
older than that. It's very, 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 very old. 39,000 years old, we think. It's in KwaZulu-Natal, in a cave, and it's made of rushes and reeds. And it was used by humans for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and they'd add top layers of insect-repelling plants so that they wouldn't get bitten during the night.
Oh.
So it's a really extraordinary...
What was it, a king, a super king?
I think probably wider. Californian double king, probably.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I've stayed at that hotel.
Compared to apes, of course, humans are relatively hairless. We have two major areas of hair, don't we? We have our little top knot, and we have our little lower down area of hair, both of which can be susceptible to lice. There's the head louse, and there's the pubic louse.
Which is actually on
no,
the
no.
decline.
The crab, is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Not so many pubes about these days, are there?
Well, because of Brazilians, you think?
No, that's exactly
The
why.
Brazilian
yeah.
has seen...
Yeah, because of the, you know, the...
Shaving downstairs.
Hollywood has seen...
And the...
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I know this, but it's true.
Scooby-Doo again.
Probably, yeah.
And if it hadn't been for you pesky kids, I'd have gotten away with it as well.
But yeah, apparently their numbers are yeah, I mean, they've had to actually start sanctuaries now. Special pube sanctuaries, and I donate, like, every month.
Little crabberies.
Money comes out
Provide a
direct
natural
debit.
habitat. The natural habitat is shrinking.
It'd be awful, wouldn't it, actually, though, if you found you had pubic lice and then there was some sort of Environment Agency order on it that you couldn't get rid of them because they were... I'm so sorry, it's important to the ecosystem.
They're restricted, they're zoned.
They're like bats.
Yeah. It was assumed that when we were hairier beings, we had various lice on our bodies, and that some of them specialised in the head and began to sort of evolve into head lice, and the others specialised in the pubes and began to evolve into pubic lice. But it's been discovered that they're not related at all, and that our pubic lice are actually related to lice that live on gorillas. Which asks a rather interesting question as to who was it who made that... Yep.
David
No, it was 3.3 million years ago that the jump was
I
made.
think that still works, David.
So there's no... So they're down there and up there, no... But, you see, I've got a...
They're not related.
I've got a sort of nature corridor.
Well, you might. I think you'll find they'll try down there and not like it. They'll stay up there.
How dare you.
And they all stay down there.
How dare you? That's an area of outstanding natural beauty down there.
There's an immense distance, though.
Let's just say an area of special scientific interest.
I've had a picnic area put in. I've got a gift shop down there. Coach park.
Oh, my God.
There
Jesus.
must have been sort of louse meetings, though, somewhere in people's chest hair, when the
powwow.
more... Yeah, exactly, the more adventurous of the head lice meet the more adventurous of the pube lice, and
You'd imagine.
they must have tried mating.
To make chest lice.
They created a new species, tit lice.
Yeah.
Just live around the tit area.
Titlouse is
Titlouse.
good. That's a nice
Titlouse.
thought. I like that, yes.
It's almost Beatrix Potter,
Yes.
isn't it? This is a children's book waiting to happen.
It is.
You're going to do the audio recording.
Moving on. What's the oldest profession?
Oh, yeah, that one. And we were all terribly
We're all-
frightened of the
We're all-
prostitute.
I hope
Prostitute. I'm just shouting prostitute like I usually do. Prostitute.
It must be 5 o'clock.
Whenever I walk past it in Soho and you see that models upstairs, it would be amazing if you went in there and it was just like a Hornby model
Airfix.
railway and just loads of women in their pants just going, come on, it's brilliant. We've got a station box.
But it's not prostitution.
Is it knitting?
No, but you're right, it begins with a silent K. When we made early tools, what do we make them out of?
Flint napping.
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 Yes, flint napping. It seems to be the oldest profession from archaeological digs. We've seen a homo habilis, handyman. He was an early, smaller version of us, and he napped away at flint to make spearheads and so on. It seems to be in the first job that we know of.
But logically, if that's... someone's tried hunting just with a normal stick before he's asked someone to have a go at napping some flint to make his stick sharper. So I reckon hunter's got to be a job pre-napper.
Yeah, but you were sort of... It was self-employed. Well, you ate the food and you gave it for the family.
I reckon they were all probably... None of them were on PAYE.
No, I was going to say, is it
Even before Hunter, there was surely a spear caddy.
Spear caddy.
Who hands the
That's true.
spear to the hunter.
Oh, like a
spear
caddy.
caddy. Could I have the number 4, please?
Of course, you know, you don't have a thing without a wood chopper, a wood cutter.
Yes, you've got to have one of those. You're right. But anyway, flint napping was certainly an old...
Older than... All of this is before
Certainly the oldest one with the
prostitute.
silent K. Yes.
Yeah.
You can, is there a word for prostitute that begins with a silent K? I don't know the one.
Probably.
Knob gobbler.
Wow, that was good. That was fast. Yeah, well, the oldest human occupation we have evidence for is flint napping. Now, what should you watch out for when handling these?
Ooh,
Roses,
is
rose stems.
Old women with secateurs.
Well, that's one thing. And what else? What else might harm you if you tried to pick them?
The thorny bit?
Roses don't have thorns.
Thorn
do?
bushes have roses. Is that it? Is that the trick?
No, roses, they're called...
Prickles.
Prickles. Well done. Absolutely right. They're not thorns. A thorn is a very specific thing botanically. Thorns are modified branches or stems, and prickles are part of the plant's skin, which is what those are. They come out from it.
So when Bon Jovi sang Every Rose Has a Thorn,
They were
he
lying.
made an absolute fool of himself.
They did.
Every rose has a prickle. That'd be great, wouldn't it, if you went to a Bon Jovi gig and every rose has a whoop, whoop, whoop.
We've got to invite him on the show, I think, haven't we? Absolutely right. So let's see if we learn something tonight. I'm going to show you something. And tell me, is there a thorn in this picture?
There's not one on the rose.
No.
Well, you said no, didn't you? But you were more accurate. You said there's not one on the rose.
But is there one on the crown?
No, there isn't one on the crown either.
One on the grass?
Oh, Alan, you were the only person on the programme where we covered this. There is no such thing as ye olde rose and crown. It's the old rose and crown, and the letter Y is called a...
Thorn.
Thorn. The letter is the thorn. Yeah.
So the Y is called...
A thorn, yes.
A thorn.
It's a
When you
first
see
sound.
that, you
There
don't
was a
say
yod.
ye, you say the.
The. It doesn't say... When people say
Just
ye
the.
olde, they're completely wrong. It's the.
I will never get it wrong again.
So you no longer have to say ye olde tea shop. It's the olde tea shop.
What if you open a new one?
Just called it the new tea shop. Now, who fancies one of my knickknacks to celebrate the beauty of chemistry? I've got a bottle here of alcohol. But this is not drinking alcohol. I'm just going to...
That was full at the start of tonight.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cloud, which I think you'll find is rather exciting. I've got a pump here, and Alan, I'm going to ask you to pump me, would you?
Every Monday.
By doing this, I just make it evaporate a little, and I'm going to stick the plunger in as soon as I can so it doesn't get too much. Now, by pumping it in, you're applying pressure to this. There you go.
So I pump?
About 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll do.
Is it going to blow up?
There we
Is it
go.
going to
And
explode?
cloud! I've made a cloud. Right. Pop it in. We can now make it disappear. Go, cloud! Come back, cloud! Oh, isn't that exciting. All of which brings us to the scores, and our winner tonight on -6 is David Mitchell. And a very respectable second place on -9 is Ross Noble. Improving all the time in third place with -17, Alan Davis. But tonight's frayed knicker elastic is Sue Perkins on -22. Well, that's all from Sue, David, Ross, Alan and me. Good night.
Actor John Hannah guest hosts Never Mind the Buzzcocks next, in another chance to see the start of the new series. And there's more comedy as a double bill of American Dad is getting under.